Week 1 saw Carolyn Dorin Ballard walk away with the tiara and the title at the WIBC Queens. Liz Johnson took the title in Week 2 at the St. Clair Classic. And in Week 3, Michelle Feldman repeated as champion, winning the Miller High Life Open. What's in store for Week 4? Find out next. Tonight's opener features the winner of the St. Clair Classic from 2 weeks ago, Liz Johnson. The return to the telecast of the reigning bowler of the year, Wendy Macpherson, and making her third straight finals, Cara Honeychurch. The winner of that battle will face four-time titleist Lisa Bishop. And the survivor there will try to stop top seed Carolyn Dorin Ballard from capturing her second title in 4 weeks. After a long hiatus, the PWBA returns to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and welcomes you inside Silva lanes of Albuquerque for the Albuquerque Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Jan Schmidt, along with my partner for tonight, 14-time champion Kim Adler. Welcome, Kim.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, we're glad you're here, and we're glad you joined us. Two of the most dominant players on tour over the past 5 years are on the telecast tonight. Number 4 seed Wendy Macpherson. She was player and bowler of the year 4 of the last 5 years and is coming off of a record-setting season where she made 15 telecasts. But it's her first show this year, and by her standards, it's a slow start.
It is a slow start for her. She took a very long, deserved break after last year, and she really didn't pick up a ball until April. So she really didn't get as much practice in. She's taken the first 2 weeks of the swing to really work on her execution. She's back this week, full force, and she's on the show. She's ready to go. I'm sure we're going to see much more of her.
I'm sure we will. The other dominant player I speak of is top seed Carolyn Dorin Ballard. She's been chasing Wendy Macpherson, and she's been a step behind, finishing as runner-up to Player of the Year the past 4 years. But with her start this year, Kim, 4 straight shows and a major title, she may have caught her.
She may have, and she really took advantage of the break. She did a lot of practicing. She bowled league, bowled a lot of tournaments, and that really kept her sharp. She came right out of the gates quickly, and I do think she caught Wendy. So I think we're going to have a great match tonight.
Well, it'll be interesting if the two of them meet for the championship. Right now, let's get to the first match. Macpherson will be joined by Honeychurch and Johnson. Looks like they're ready to get started at the Albuquerque Open. Cara Honeychurch will start the match. She was our number 3 qualifier, and she's chosen to start.
She's got that wonderful classic 4-step style, and she's real smooth. She's been repeating those shots.
Well, Cara regrouping and Cara opens with a big strike.
Great concentration.
Yeah, a little distraction here. We had a little voice coming over the PA, and it was our little voices, Silva. Sorry about that, Cara, but it didn't bother her. Wendy Macpherson, first show this year. 15 years on tour, 18 titles.
That was a little errant, a little to the right. I did notice tonight so far that the lanes are a little oilier than they were during the week. We had a little problem to begin before we bowled. Someone stepped on a lane, so they had to strip and re-oil. We could see something different here tonight.
So that actually may have changed the lanes, and also the conditioner didn't sit for the same period of time.
Right. The oil was put down on the lane on a warm lane, so now the oil is moving around a little differently than it would normally.
Wendy converting the 2-pin, and Liz Johnson, meanwhile, threw her first shot, leaving a 10-pin, and will change balls to shoot that spare. Going to a plastic ball, Kim.
Yeah, I loved all these new looks in the plastic balls. Yeah, they're interesting to look at.
Third consecutive TV appearance for Cara Honeychurch. This lady's been pretty amazing. She leads by 10 pins right now, but it's only her second year on tour. She bowled as an amateur a couple of events in '99 and full-time last year, and is the Rookie of the Year.
She's already made over $200,000 in 2 years, or actually a year.
Exactly.
Well, 50,000 of it came with that 300 game.
Big bonus, also still a bonus this week, presented by Travelodge if anyone shoots a 300 on television. Wendy Macpherson now up in the second frame.
Oh, she got that one left.
Was that maybe an adjustment off of her first shot?
Possibly. A lot of times you do that subconsciously.
Cara also changing balls to shoot her 10-pin.
Spares were at a premium this week. Cara made a mention to us in an interview that she has been working a great deal on her spare making. Last week was on the poor side. This week was actually on the good side for her.
Cara said she only missed one spare this week.
With the scores as low as they have been, spares, you needed to make your spares.
Wendy covering up the 6-10. This is her second appearance of 2001, so we're seeing some repeat ladies here on this WIBC ABC Sport condition. Calls for good execution and repeatability. Not that kind of a shot.
No.
Now this is a difficult spare, Kim, the 3, 9, 10. How would she go about shooting this?
Well, I would shoot it off my strike line. Use the hook of your strike ball to convert the back pin, which is really the important pin. It's hard to make this cross lane. This is how you would make it. She's going to try going at it a little bit from the left-hand side there. Hooking it in.
Oh. Well, I hope you're enjoying this stop, and Southern California will be the next stop for the PWBA as we head to San Diego, California and the Grove Bowling Center. That'll be Saturday, June 9th through Thursday, June 14th. Then the ladies turn back east as we make a stop at Don Carter City View in Fort Worth, Texas for the Fort Worth Classic, Sunday, June 17th through Thursday, June 21st. The Greater Memphis Open is next, Sunday, June 24th through Thursday, June 28th at FunQuest Lanes in Collierville, Tennessee. So be sure to come out and see the greatest women bowlers in the world as they visit an area near you. Cara Honeychurch still in the lead so far through 2 frames. She leads by 2 pins as she steps up in the 3rd frame. And I thought Liz had that spare, but the ball just didn't, it deflected a little too much.
It did, and you can tell by her posturing right now, she's pretty upset about it.
Cara defeated Liz throughout the week. Once again, this is our normal format, 24 games of match play, 30 bonus pins per win.
Now that looked like a pretty good shot off her hand.
But coming light, leaving a 3-pin. As we mentioned, Wendy, Bowler and Player of the Year the past 4 out of 5 years. Also the 90s Bowler of the Decade. Best finish this year was 6th, and that was last week. She only missed the show by 7 pins.
Yes, and she's back with a great shot there.
And again, Cara just shooting the spare. Kim, what do you think of the sport condition?
Well, personally, I haven't had a lot of luck with it, but the players on the show tonight all commented that they enjoy the sport league condition. It's been very competitive, very on the lower scoring side, and all of these players like to bowl on conditions that are tougher. The easier conditions tend to equalize the field. The lesser quality bowlers tend to rise up to the top, and all of these players are making great shots.
Well, right now, Wendy Macpherson has the lead. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll be back with more from Silva Lanes of Albuquerque. While we were away, a disaster in the 4th frame for Macpherson and Johnson. Greek Church for Macpherson, a solid 9 and miss for Liz Johnson. Cara Honeychurch, meanwhile, keeping it in the pocket, leads by 4 pins as she steps up in the 8th frame. And Cara really has been the only one to keep the ball in the pocket, Kim. And this week, there was a difference left to right.
There was. We noticed that the field of left-handers out-averaged the field of right-handers by 8 pins, 201 to 209. So she really has an advantage tonight if she stays consistent. That was a great shot.
Solid 9 for Cara. We've been getting a lot of great media coverage. Wendy McPherson, the bowler decade we've been talking about, was in USA Today recently. We want to thank the media for all their coverage. And thank you to Lydia Rybczynski, our new media director. She was recently named the National Women Bowling Writers Writer of the Year in 2000, and that's 5 times for her. Great media person we have. And a horrible break for Wendy McPherson.
It doesn't seem to be coming off her hand quite as clean as it was earlier. I noticed in the 7th frame when she got her strike while we were gone, she kind of hung up in the ball also. So I think she's worrying a little bit about her grip there.
Cara covers the spare. Well, Kim, it is warm in here. Very humid.
Oh, she missed that.
Well, taking 1 out of the 7-10, they showed you her release there. It is a little bit warm and a little bit humid, so she can, I'm sure she is hanging up a bit.
Yeah, we'll hopefully see that again. Great shot there.
Carry was the key, and the players did talk about that. The ones that could find the pocket, they had to find the right equipment to be able to carry.
I think Liz is a little more direct even for her tonight.
Direct by meaning almost pointing.
Almost pointing it to the left.
And Cara still hitting the pocket in the 9th frame. Liz Johnson now stepping up to shoot her 10-pin, but definitely a little struggle for McPherson and Johnson.
Wendy's got to trust this shot right now off her hand.
Well, Wendy, very thankful also to Columbia. She's on their staff, also Mongoose and Contour. What a great staff person they have in her. How could you ask for any more than...
a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, exactly. Light, and I know that Wendy was very insistent about that we especially thank Art and Diana Silva for their hospitality here this week. And they basically did everything for you.
Oh, they did. They really paid attention to details for all the players. We had use of a health club, a salon, massage, embroidery service. They had it all.
Well, another tough shot for Liz Johnson. She leaves a washout, the 1-2-4-6-10.
This is makeable.
Wendy covers, but you're meaning Liz's shot is makeable, right? The washout. So how would she go about it?
Well, she's going to shoot this again from the right-hand side and try and hit that head pin to the left, take out all the pins.
So the ball wants to hit the left side, shoot the head pin into the 6-10.
See, it's that conditioner in the center of the lane. It's not getting the ball over to the left. The ball is skidding through the middle part of the lane.
There you can see the scoreboard. Cara Honeychurch has a pretty commanding lead here as she steps up into the 10th frame. The best Wendy McPherson could shoot would be 190. Cara Honeychurch would need to mark in order to shut out McPherson. Taking a little bit of time on this shot. She normally doesn't take that much time. And almost another solid 9. Did you see how late that fell?
We have seen a lot of those this week.
John Falzone presented Wendy McPherson with her Player of the Year award for 2000 just a little bit earlier this evening. And again, what a phenomenal year she had. John Falzone, the president of PWBA.
Adding another trophy to that trophy case.
Exactly. Did she say she had a room or just a case?
A small room. I doubt it's small.
She'll be needing a bigger one shortly. Well, it just needs to hit the pins, and she does. So Cara Honeychurch will advance. But first, when we return, we'll let you know about some of the recent WIBC award recipients. And has enjoyed tonight's action. Final score of match 1, Cara Honeychurch 216 to McPherson's 180 and Johnson's 153. That earns Cara Honeychurch the right to take on Lisa Bishop right after this. I'm looking at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Ballooning, a very popular sport and recreation here. And there's a look at Art and Diana Silva, the co-owners here at Silva Lanes of Albuquerque, and wonderful proprietors. Art, a PBA member for 27 years, and Diana, the 79 U.S. Open champion. So both bowlers excellent at bowling and being a proprietor.
And that's why I think they do pay attention to those details, as I talked about earlier.
Cara Honeychurch will be starting the semifinal match against Lisa Bishop. Lisa qualified second, and it was her choice to make Cara start. Could there be some strategy there to have Cara start the match, Kim?
There could be. She probably took a look at what Cara had the best lane, the best look on each lane, and that may have worked into her strategy. But I know Lisa, she's pretty offensive versus defensive in her game, so she's probably looking at it as her best lane instead of Cara's worst lane.
Okay, that's a good point. So you think players, some of them play offensively and some play defensively.
Right.
Okay, she leaves the 3-5-6, covers it. First look at Lisa Bishop, a very deliberate player. And she makes sure she's set before she goes. 30 years old, 5 years on tour, and she also was a Rookie of the Year back in 1997. Good opening shot, leaving a 7-pin.
She has gone to her A game tonight. A bit more direct to the pocket with a bit more speed than we saw out of her earlier this week. I think they're starting to hook a little to the right where the direct players are playing, and she's chosen to go with a little straighter ball than she had earlier in the week.
I was going to say there's her balk, but she's indicating somebody was talking. Lisa is famous for balking out there. It's rare in bowling, but she does have a long second step, and she was saying sometimes it gets too long or she sticks.
She does, and she definitely has that advantage of stopping. Some of the girls can't stop.
Well, she covered up that spare, so it was a good stop. Now, we had only been in Albuquerque 2 previous times in 89 and 90. Leanne Barrett won both times and tried to make this show, but didn't make it. Kim Adler, you made a run in 11th place.
Dee Dee Davidson, our latest Triple Crown winner, and Tish Johnson shooting for that consecutive events. She's up to 198.
Great. Lisa Bishop now up in the second frame. All even so far. And a 4-pin, a little bit light first shot, a little bit high that shot.
As usual, there's a difference between these lanes.
219.59 average. Averages, that was this week. Averages up quite a bit this week. Each week they've progressed, but that's typical, I think, at the beginning of a swing, plus the ladies adjusting to the sport conditions.
Especially the beginning of the year where, as we talked about in the opening, girls that don't necessarily practice as much are coming out and getting those first couple of weeks of practice in.
Talked a little bit about staffs. Wendy, Cara Honeychurch on the Ebonite staff. Also, Liz Johnson, you saw last match, not on a ball staff, but she's on bowlingballmall.com and Contour Power Grips. So, bowlingballmall.com, a new sponsor of ours recently in the last year.
That was a little slow.
Definitely, and you saw the result of being slow.
See, it was definitely slow and right of her target. Right through the heart.
Leaving the 4-7-10. Now, at this point in the match, Kim, what would you do? Would you go for the spare or take the wood?
Well, I think offensively. Got to get the 2 as early in the match.
Oh! She was apparently going for it. Success factor for Cara. You can see what she did on both lanes.
Pretty consistent. Making her spares.
She was clean until that frame. Open now for Cara Honeychurch, and she trails by 14 pins as she steps up in the third frame.
Oh, yes, she's definitely got a strength this week in her spare shooting. She's worked on that. We talked about that earlier. Confidence level, that she considers her weakness as far as knowing the equipment, knowing how to adjust in the lane. She's really worked a little bit on that with her tour representative, Ballard, and she continues to work on that.
Yeah, and in terms of confidence, in making the decision, even if she thinks it's right, she doesn't make she's afraid to make that decision sometimes.
Correct.
She went up high there, leaving the 2-4-7.
But in the process of making these decisions, her game is very simple, so that makes her decisions very easy. That's what we've really had to work with on the sport pattern, is making simple decisions, keeping it simple.
And a lot of the players choosing, as they were talking last night, to make their moves with maybe speed or a little change in hand position, not so much equipment or big changes.
Adjusting on the lane with your feet or your eyes, you didn't do a lot of that this week. You did it just with a little softer hand, a little slower speed.
And there you see the max score, 255 for Cara Honeychurch, 279 for Lisa Bishop, and that still stands as she strikes in the third frame.
That was a great shot off her hand. Nice and slow. She stayed behind that with a little bit of rotation, and she's been working on her hand releases a little bit. That was a weakness for her. And she's continuing to work on that. She used to be a little more end over end roll. Now she's getting a little more rotation.
She sent that ball pretty far right.
She did for her.
Well, she leads by 24 pins. So Lisa Bishop is pulling ahead in this match. We'll be right back to see who survives the semifinal match. Stay with us. Welcome back to Silva Lanes of Albuquerque. Here's a look at the beautiful remodeling job. They basically gutted this place from front door to pin decks. And Art Silva wanted proprietors to know, if you're on the fence, that this is a wonderful thing to do if you're thinking about remodeling. He feels that it is not a gamble. The revenue went up. It's great for the industry, great for bowling, and it increased his first-time bowlers by about 11% just from word of mouth of how beautiful the place looked. While we were away, Lisa Bishop continued to strike. Cara Honeychurch, with her problems carrying, still in the pocket, but not able to carry. Lisa Bishop in the lead by 66 pins. Now, Kim, all of the remodeling here also had a positive effect on the players.
Also, yes, the athletes look at the surface, and the Brunswick Pro Anvilane synthetic lanes that they've installed are the hardest synthetic lane surface there is. It has the least amount of friction created between the ball and the lane, which means the ball wants to skid more on less oil. So we actually put less oil down on the lane this week, and we had the ball skid more.
So surface plays a big part. I mean, not only the conditioning, but the surface.
Definitely.
And Lisa Bishop dialed in, and she's loving the surface right about now, as well as the choice of ball and choice of everything else. She has a good shot, and she's executing well. Cara now stepping up in the eighth, down by 66 pins. Has to strike here. And again, no carry. And she talked about that, Kim. She told us that she had some big rounds, but it was a matter of getting the right ball to carry.
I guess this isn't one of those days.
She averaged only 212 on this pair, as opposed to her 218 average for the tournament. Well, if you're an amateur bowler out there and you're wanting to bowl on the national tour, we've changed our amateur eligibility rules. Amateurs may bowl, but they must meet the average requirements. They can cash a maximum of 3 times per year. Regional members will now be allowed to bowl an unlimited number of national tournaments at a rate predetermined by PWBA, and you must participate in an orientation meeting in your first tournament. So if you're interested, call the PWBA at 815-332-5756 for more information. Cara Honeychurch now trailing by 77 pins, and finally, she carries a strike.
And she has nothing to be upset about today. She's made another TV show. She definitely isn't aware of that sophomore jinx, and I'm sure she's going to be back very soon.
Yeah, when I asked her that last night, she said, yeah, somebody told me about it, but she's very, as she put it, talking about Cara, philosophical about her bowling. If she does the best she can, she's happy with that. Lisa Bishop, her average on TV pair, 215, as opposed to her 219 average for the week. So these ladies scored a little bit lower on this pair, coming up high, leaving the 4-7.
And she has this match in hand, but you can look right at her eyes and see that she's still very intense. She's an intense bowler. That's one thing we talked about with her, is the fact that she just really wants to come out and bowl well this year.
Wow, thank you, sidewall. Well, Lisa Bishop dominates that semifinal match, but stay with us for a recap of tonight's action as we head to the championship match. So far tonight in match 1, Cara Honeychurch kept it in play, and that was enough to defeat Macpherson and Johnson 216 to 180 and 153. In match 2, Lisa Bishop made her presence known, throwing 6 strikes in a row to send Honeychurch on to Mesa 246 to 182. Coming up next, the title match between Lisa Bishop and Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Well, I'm suddenly feeling very patriotic as the bald eagle flies by. Meanwhile, we sit inside of Silva lanes, and there's the beautiful trophy we're looking at. It was commissioned and done by Ben Saxon. He is a local artist, and it was decorated with turquoise beads and Zuni Indian symbols. We're ready for the championship match, and Lisa Bishop is first up. Both of these ladies would love to have that trophy, I'm sure, to
It's
take
a
home.
beautiful trophy. We love those trophies that are made with heart. Now we have to look at this lane breakdown. I wonder if Carolyn or Dell looked at this when they started. I doubt it. I think Carolyn is more of the offensive bowler than defensive, trying to get Lisa to end or start on a particular lane.
But she was pretty close on both lanes, so it's...
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a lot of difference. Carolyn chose to have Lisa start. On tour for 12 years, 11 titles.
In practice, on her practice shots, that she was using both a straight ball and this ball that hooks more. She's chosen to stay away from the right-hand part of the lane that hooks a little more. She's moved into the left where she probably has a little more consistent shot.
Well, Carolyn, the top seed, and so far this year, that is exactly where you need to be, because all 3 weeks, our top seed has won the championship, and that's unusual.
We should be in Vegas. Those are good
exactly.
odds.
I mean, top seed usually at best 50%, maybe even below, because they don't have a game under their belt. Oh, she was trying to steer that.
She was, and she talked to us about making 10 great shots off her hand. That wasn't up to par, I believe.
That's what she was hoping to do, and we talked about expectations. And what do the pros average? What would you say? How many good shots per match?
She likes to see 8 shots out of 10, if not more. I think we're all up in that category for 8 good shots off of her hand. She's going for 10 out of 10 for the show, though.
Covers the spare. So those of you at home, you know, if you ever throw a shot and go, wow, I threw that one good, imagine you really need to throw it that good 8 or 9 times a match in order to compete at this level.
And be standing and looking in the right place, because your ball may not react in the lane properly.
Exactly. Lisa Bishop in the second frame. Oh, just the 4-pin tripping out, 7 still stands.
It's got a chance here. We had a lot of trip 4s this week, but not to be in this case.
Going to convert her spare here. Oh, wow. Mistake by Lisa Bishop.
Very important to make those spares. The ball just comes off of her hand. She threw it pretty good. It went in the right direction. Right about there, it starts to go right. You can see her in disgust. More with the lane than her shot. It was a good shot off her hand. She's been working on those hand releases. You know, she's trying to get a little more to rotation like she did just there. She says that's a weakness for her. She's been working on that. she's been working on her speed as well. That for her is a weakness. And you'll see the ball come off her hand here, some out of the ball, starting right about there onto the lane. And that was key the last 3 weeks in the sport condition, is to get the ball down into the lane nice and clean and smooth, which she did there.
And right back at a spare, and this one.
Now the oil helped her that time. Get that ball over to the right.
Covers it, but barely. Carolyn defeated Lisa Bishop during the weekend match play and is ahead right now by 22 pins. As she steps up in the third frame, she's working on a spare. Her max score possible, 280. That would be if she strikes out. Lisa Bishop's max score, 258. Well, Kim Carolyn did a lot over the break, and you asked her where her favorite place was to travel internationally.
Well, over the break, I was lucky enough to go to Thailand and Singapore, and I think both of them were fantastic. I loved the food. It was very interesting, but I think Singapore was probably my favorite because it was very easy to get around. The language was very easy to understand, and it was very Americanized and very comfortable. So that was my favorite on this break, but there are a few others, and I just really enjoy traveling.
Well, the travel actually did her well, and we talked about some of the averages on this pair, but Kim, how about Carolyn?
Oh, wow, 250.33 on this TV pair. We'll have to see if she can do that again tonight.
Exactly. She bowled 3 games on this pair and came out with a 250 average. I'd say she liked it.
She's off to a great start here.
Lisa Bishop trying to stay focused. She said that was her strength this week as she trails by 22 pins. No one striking, so there won't be a $50,000 bonus this week, but it will be there again next week by Travelodge for anybody that shoots a 300 on television.
I hope it's me.
I hope it is too. Will you buy me dinner if it is?
Sure.
Okay, everyone heard it. 10 pin again, so carry seems to be the key right now for Lisa Bishop.
I think she tried to get a little more turn on that shot to keep the ball alive, and it just didn't come up the back end quite enough with enough strength. It was a little weak, and that's why she left that weak 10 pin.
And maybe right now needs to be looking at slowing the ball down a bit. If you're enjoying this show, make sure you tune in. Carolyn Dorin Ballard looks to repeat her success at Country Club Lanes in Mesa, Arizona, as the PWBA brings you the Wheelchair Awareness Classic. It'll be televised Monday, June 11th. It'll be a new time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So tune in to ESPN2, and remember, 10:30 p.m. next week. Lisa Bishop now trailing by 33 pins. Now, I'm hearing that Lisa Bishop changed balls this game after shooting a big game last game. Why would you do that? Do you have any thought process on that, Kim?
She didn't change balls. She threw. It doesn't look like she changed balls. She did? She's throwing an eraser now, which is a ball that gets down the lane pretty good.
Covers the spare up right now, and we'll break for a moment, but stay with us to see who walks away with this victory. Carolyn Dorin Ballard now leading by 44 pins. Remember, she's attempting to capture her 2nd title of the year already, and it's only our 4th event. Still has a max score possible of 280. Lisa Bishop's max score now down to 236. She won that Queens tournament, WIBC Queens, which is a major title.
She knew that when she let it go that it was going to strike. You could tell. It was a great shot.
I want to take a minute and thank the Albuquerque Women's Bowling Association. They came out this week and helped with the gate, sold souvenirs, did whatever was needed out here to help the women and help the center and the tournament. So we appreciate it very much. Volunteer force, always important. Lisa Bishop taking a look at her hand.
Carolyn's taking an extra moment here to breathe. I think she got a little excited after that strike, and now she's just trying to prepare herself for the next shot.
Here's the average leaders this year through just 2 weeks. The Queens does not count for average, but those averages compiled by the Ebonite Tournament Coordinator. That is our official tournament software of the PWBA.
Another great shot off her hand. That preparation before the shot was really important.
Of the PWBA.
Another great shot.
Carolyn's a little pumped up. That was her reaction to that last shot.
Now, Lisa, let's correct this. Lisa went back to this ball just now in this frame. She's been switching back and forth between a couple of different balls. A little confusion there as to which ball she should be with.
She bowled such a great game the first game. I'm really surprised to see her make that change. But she had to feel something was going on with the lanes.
And I do think that that early hook to the right had something to do with that. She came back here and talked to her ball rep about it during the break.
Can I ask Lisa if playing golf helps her out with her bowling at all?
Golf helps me mentally. Out on the course, I focus on every shot. It's kind of like playing the lane. You have to focus on every shot and make good execution. So it's similar in that way. I face different golf courses, and like bowling, you face different lane conditions. Surface comes into play. I unfortunately didn't get to play a lot of golf over the break. I live in Michigan. It's cold up there. So, but I like golf because mentally it keeps me focused and prepared for bowling also.
Oh, messenger. And a quick one at that.
This ball was a little bit to the right that time. Kind of rolled out at the pocket a little early. Great shot off her hand. She tried. Is it going to fall? Yes. And she's trying to enjoy bowling a little more. That was one of the things she talked about with us, was enjoying the moment. She is right there.
She's enjoying it right now. And she also enjoyed some friends over the break.
Well, her good friend's new baby was born. She wants to congratulate her on Luke Allen Provost.
Meanwhile, Carolyn Dorin Ballard stepping up in the 7th. She has 4 strikes in a row and leads by 55 pins.
She got a little faster with her feet that time. You could see a little bit of pull through her swing, and she knew it when she let it go. She tried to recover from it. We'll take a look on this shot. You see she pulled it back a little more because her feet got fast, so then she just tried to lift through it to get it out in the lane and get some roll on it.
Well, leaves just a 7-pin. It should be an easy spare, although we did see Lisa's ball almost back off going through the conditioner.
She's using that plastic ball, so we want to be careful.
No problem covering that spare. We have a couple players that are approaching some big milestones. Tish Johnson, one of those ladies. She's looking to become the 3rd woman to $1 million, needs $14,600 to become that 3rd millionaire. And she also now is at 198 consecutive national events, needs 2 more to tie me at 200.
Are you going to do anything to her on that 199th to keep her away from your record?
I'm thinking about it. I'm planning it, but she heard the show last week, and I was a little in trouble, so... Nah, I commend her. It's a lot of work to be out there and traveling from week to week.
Much better shot that time.
If you're wondering what the other ladies are doing, Carolyn Dorin Ballard, the next one in line in that streak at 169 consecutive. And Kim Adler, you're next in line at 135.
I had no idea. I thought I've only been bowling for a couple of years.
Lisa Bishop now trailing by 34 pins as she steps up in the 8th. A Team USA member. A lot of the ladies out here did gain a lot of their experience as Team USA or as a collegiate bowler.
Especially on that sport pattern, because internationally bowl in some very difficult conditions, and the last 3 weeks have been very difficult. And she got this one a little right, but yet it hit some dry part of the lane and it hooked up. Getting a little spotty out there where there's oil and where there's dry.
Covers the spare this time very carefully on the left side of the lane.
Those red and blue marks were flipping over just in the right place.
Scoreboard, Carolyn Dorin Ballard really lined up into the pocket and carrying pretty well at this point. You know, we saw those balloons, Kim, and I understand that they actually took some of the players out on balloon rides this morning. Did you go?
I did not go. No, I was getting ready for the television show.
Good answer.
Yes.
4-pin for Lisa Bishop again coming up high. And again, we'll change the ball to shoot at the 4-pin. Some of the other finishers in match play this week. Kelly Kulik of Union City. She's made 2 shows so far this year. Kathy Dorin Lizzie, she was my partner the first 3 weeks and now out doing the graphics for you.
Stacy Ryder from La Habra, California, back for a few weeks on tour. Welcome back. And Rhonda Buckley from Mesa, Arizona. This is her first pro event, her first top 24.
Congratulations, Rhonda. That should be inspirational to any of you thinking about coming out and bowling with the ladies. Well, this match is pretty much all but over. Carolyn Dorin Ballard in great control here. She can still shoot 259 if she strikes out. Del Ballard, her coach and husband, looking on.
He's looking a little more relaxed right now because this match is basically over.
Another strike for Carolyn Dorin Ballard. You saw Del, he was conversing with Chris Schlemmer, the ball representative for Storm Products. And these 2 ladies competing with those products in this match. And the ball reps having a little bit of match of their own in the back, I think.
Maybe. Must be Carolyn's lucky necklace. Little shameless plug for me there.
Did you design that or make that one?
I did.
You have a jewelry business going?
I do.
Beautiful. And a beautiful game here bowled by Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Big game for Carolyn, 248.
Nothing like starting the tournament leading and ending the tournament leading.
Oh, that's, yes, because when someone's led the entire tournament, they really should win. So that's 4 for 4 on top seeds this week. So I imagine there'll be a big battle in position round next week for that top seed position. Lisa pausing for a moment there. And bowled very well this week, and I'm sure we'll see her back again on the telecast. But it was Carolyn Dorin Ballard this week. 11 years ago, Albuquerque crowned Leanne Barrett, and Carolyn said, "Step aside, it is my turn." She wins her 2nd title of 2001. We'll be back with more. There's the champion of the Albuquerque Open, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Final score 248 to 184. And Diana Silva, co-proprietor here at Silva Lanes of Albuquerque, and the 1979 U.S. Open champ, has a beautiful trophy. And we will make sure that sits upright. And here comes Art Silva, co-proprietor here and also a PBA member with the check.
Carolyn, the great bowling super, on behalf of Silva Lanes Bowling Centers, all my great staff that helped this week, and our great city of Albuquerque, I'd like to present this first place check to you in the amount of $9,000. You earned it. You enjoy it, and have a great time here.
Thanks, Art. I'd like to thank Art and Diane Silva and their fantastic staff. I don't know what other word can say it. We fended for nothing this week, and I hope we come back here 9 times next year. I'd like to also thank the Women's International Bowling Congress for being one of the greatest supporters of the sport of bowling. I'd like to thank Ebonite for making great equipment so that I can be the bowler I am. And I'd also like to thank all of the bowlers out here on the PWBA Tour, especially the 4 other girls that I bowled with tonight, especially a Wendy Macpherson, because you can all talk about Bowler of the Year, but it's because of them that I strive to be better. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Carolyn Dorin Ballard, the first 2-time champion this year. Be sure to join us again next Monday night, a little later, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, for the Wheelchair Awareness Classic. For Kim Adler, I'm Jan Schmidt, saying so long from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.